Thank you. So, one theme that seems to have appeared a few times already is the idea of cost efficiency, right? Reducing costs for participants. Of course, if we look at any industry, when you're reducing costs, for somebody, those costs are actually revenues. So, who is standing to lose from blockchain becoming the new normal in trade finance? Are there some banks that ultimately are the, sort of the friction right now? Or are there other players, existing trade finance solutions? Maybe Salima, you want to start on this?
That's a good point, actually. I don't think anybody's losing today, because if you look at the past 10 years, what has happened to banks, especially after the OFAC fines that the banks have been going through, is that they have massively invested on compliance controls, right, to be able to match those new standards. And they have much less invested on upgrading their operational setup. And today, if you look at the way banks operate, their employees are spending most of their time doing controls, redoing controls, putting data into the system, printing it, doing that again. And I think that moving digital is a question of survival for them today, because they cannot have originators doing controls and inputting data, because it has become so massive, the needs of control and the robustness of the operational systems, that they have no choice than to move digital. So for me, it's more a question of survival and profitability of the business than anything else. So that's on the efficiency part, and there's the security part. I mean, banks who finance fraudulent documents, who take orders from the wrong person, or who spend hours checking who has sent the order, and this has become really problematic during COVID, because during callbacks on landlines, when people are not in the office anymore, you just miss payments, and this has happened to a lot of people, right? And on top of that, it's easier and easier to produce fraudulent documents. So I think that companies really need efficient tools to help them allow their employees to focus on what is key for them, which is monitoring their risk properly, onboarding customers, executing transactions. So given the state of the industry today, I don't think anybody's going to lose.
Okay. Thank you. Danny, do you share that view? Or, I know you have a long career.
Yeah, I think if you, there is a Bain company study that showed 50 to 80% of cost saves because of blockchain applications. I think that might be a little bit overstated. Our work we are doing with our members show 30 to 40% cost saves in their operations, whether they're banks or whether they're corporates. I think to find losers, I think people that are involved in legacy technology will have to change their business model and their focus. Otherwise, they will be losing out. And people that are operating destination platforms might also lose out over time. But there's a shifting going on in the industry towards the digital scenarios, and we see a lot of third-party service providers, a lot of banks, a lot of tech firms, a lot of companies really moving to the digital space and creating new opportunities and new jobs.